everyone, Sarah in the house, and welcome back to another episode of World Division Final Fantasy Brave Exvius New Content Overview, where we have a look at what's new every week. Today is the day in which we have the rerun for Final Fantasy XIV, and on top of that we also have a new vision card and Esper, Europa. Before we go to the summon, let's make sure that we check the presents, because if you are new, you're most likely gonna get Y'shtola here. So you'll get 40 free shards if you already have her, which will contribute to her being EX'd. Now let us delve into the summons and see what's new. First thing that we're presented with is the new vision card, which is Science of Twilight. This card seems to be very tailored towards light, and if we have a look at the stats, it will have at level 99, light unit slash attack resistance piercing rate up 35, light unit max HP up by 13%, and then light unit magic attack resistance up by 20. If this card is given to a light unit, that light unit will get attack up 10%, dark attack resistance up 10%, and critical hit rate down by 5. Furthermore, if this card is given to Thancred, he will get max HP up by 20%, and if by any random chance you want to give this card to Y'shtola, she'll get magic attack by 20. What is my initial idea of this card? It doesn't seem like it's absolutely necessary for your light team, for your light slash team, unless you don't have any other card that you can assign to your team. Although it is also true that now we'll soon have a new mechanic for 2 vision cards once a unit reaches level 99, as per the information that was shared on the second year anniversary stream. So it's a nice to have, but I'm not sure whether you should absolutely need to have this. There's definitely other cards that you might want to give your light slash team. Then there's a standard banner for that vision card, which is where you'll probably be able to use those single tickets starting from tomorrow. Furthermore, we do have 2 5 steps for rerun cards. We can get Shadowbringers, which is the first card on the left, and Science of Shadow, which is the one on the right. And on the other banner, we can get both Shadowbringers and Bringer of Shadow. And I think that, it would be nice to have Shadowbringers max, but as a dark user, but I don't think it's necessary. In the direction we're going, we're definitely gonna get better vision cards, even with 2 vision card slots. So I would recommend everyone to save their vision, especially in regards of these 2 banners. Then I will probably not touch any of this. And we do have let's say, the continuation of last week's banners, where it was Dark and Wind and Earth and something else. And this week we have Ice and Light and Fire and Water. And again, although the rewards and the PD bar seems nice, I would not touch these guys with a 10-inch pole because we do need as much vision as possible. Now, for this week's meats and potatoes, which is Europa. Europa is a vision card that will come with an Esper, and I've provided information on how I would like to spec this Esper. And if I were to pull this card, it would be a must assign to Ibarra or Ranan, and I would go full ham on damage dealing, full lightning attack, magic attack, and more importantly, water unit damage, because we will have units that might have a resistance or less of a weakness towards lightning. So we want to make sure we can kill those guys that are coming out as soon as possible. So if you're planning to get this card, you want to complete your Ibarra and Ranan, this is what I would suggest doing. Now, the vision card does come with some nice things as well. It comes with lightning unit magic attack up by 35, lightning unit agility up by 8, lightning unit critical damage up by 25. If you give this card to any lightning unit, they'll get magic attack 10, max HP up by 5%, spirit up by 5, and reduce attack ability activation reduction by 100 ticks. And I think it's a nice to have. Hard to say whether it will be a must pull for lightning units. There's already cards that can provide some nice damage to both Ibarra and Ranan. I actually lost to one Ibarra Ranan team that also has Charlotte, and I don't know how those guys were spec'd, but they destroyed my Earth team, and I was like Godsmack. I couldn't believe that happened, but either it was hacks or that guy had some crazy spirit penetration. I don't know, but that definitely left a sour taste. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that it's worth pulling here. Same, maybe if you want to finish the vision cards, you can use these guild banners, especially if you are swimming in dough. Okay, let's go on to the shop. So we have a second anniversary countdown Part 4 deluxe shop. This is where you can get more ways of spending your visor, and you already know that you don't want to touch this with anything. Now, I do like this. I think a lot of us are running out of Blossoms of Paradise. Yes, we will get 6 of them as part of Hiroki's reward, but with the amount of units that we're going to max, 2 for 2 million is actually really nice. Not for Visor, but for Guild. So I am grabbing this right away before I forget. Other things that are not mentioning here are, as usual, nothing. Let's go on to the shop below, and doesn't seem that interesting. Same goes for the shop below, although I do like that the Ishtolas shards are for Gil. So if you want to EX her and get her to level 120 for some reason, you can do so without too much investment. I do like the limited number of shops, to be honest. It confuses players in a much lower rate, I'd say. Another thing I like to mention is do not forget about the limited battle that is coming this week. So you'll have to build 2 teams, both for attack and defense. One that is of 4 elements, and the second team will be of 4 other elements. So I think they're trying to have a limited battle where there will be no element disadvantage. I think that is actually pretty cool, and I can't wait for our first battle and see how that plays out. So I think that on the first battle there is no light, so all of you that are having issues with Elena, you should have a field trip. But then again, you might come across a dark Elena, and she might give you troubles. Let's move on to the far plane. A lot of things to talk about here. First off is the raid, and we will be fighting 2 bosses. One which will be the main boss, and then a rare boss. Main boss will be Kraken, and the rare boss will be Ochu. So by killing Ochu 5 times, you will be able to get a MR Vision card, which is Wintertide Bloomers. Seems to be tailored for wind elements, but there's nothing that really blows my mind in regards of stats. So upon getting this card, you also need to power it up, and once you unlock the card, you unlock the relevant missions in the far plane, where you'll need to do the usual difficult, brutal nightmare quests to get shards for that vision card. So nothing out of the ordinary if you've done a raid before. More importantly, the piece of equipment that you can get this time around is called Survival Vest, which is a cloth, and it will grant unit attack resistance up. So pretty much for those that missed the Nier Automata event, it's pretty much a version of Pod, but instead of an accessory, it's a cloth. So slightly downgraded version, but will prove to offer the same kind of resistances. So I don't know. I don't think that having this as a cloth or as a piece of armor is as valuable as having it as an accessory, because it does limit the number of units that can equip it. Nonetheless, it's better than nothing. And as a cloth wearer, you don't want to get hit. So if you get hit, you'll eventually mitigate some damage, hoping that it's not an AoE attack. Okay, let's go back onto the far plane. So I believe that here you'll be able to get the gauntlet again, which is a piece of armor. And you'll also be able to get the gunblade again if you haven't maxed that. So you'll be able to +5 those piece of equipment if you haven't already. And more importantly, I want to have a look at this second anniversary countdown quest, which according to the news, if I'm not wrong, will grant a +10 ticket upon completing it. So let's do this real quick and see whether that's the case. And yes, so don't forget that that 10 pool ticket is under events, so you'll need to beat 10 missions. Okay, why don't we talk about Ishtola and Tancred now that they have gotten their EX job. They also have their MA2, so do keep that in account and do complete the quest for those. So let's talk about Ishtola. Okay, so Ishtola, job level 19, she will get Xenoglossy enhancement, where it will become Xenoglossy 2. This will deal fire damage large to target based on caster match stat and bestows Man-Eater. Now, why is Man-Eater important? Because Man-Eater here, it doesn't care whether the damage that you'll further deal will be magical or physical or non-type, which means that if you want to build a Drain Force team with Ishtola in the middle, you can, since the Drain Force will still proc the Man-Eater debuff. So pretty happy about that. Do consider that. So you can play around with some teams if you want. Ishtola can be your healer and do other things on the sides. Job level 22, Ishtola will get Enochian enhancement, which will raise match, attack, resistance, piercing rate, and accuracy. Accuracy is always good for an MR unit. And at job level 25, she'll get Scion's Greater Fira, which will raise on magic attack resistance piercing rate after 3 turns, then deal fire damage medium to targets within range based on caster's match stat. A small AoE, kinda expensive, and I think that it's not completely necessary for you to pull this. Let's go and check out our boy Tancred and see what he gets. As you can see, I've placed a big emphasis in building him. So, in a situation where he'll reach job level 19, he'll get Super Body Day enhancement. So, Super Body Day will become Super Body Day 2, will bestow a barrier on self that reduces damage for 3 times, and lowers AP consumption for 3 turns. Job level 22, Tancred will get Camouflage enhancement, will become Camouflage 2, where it raise missile attack resistance and defense piercing rate. And yeah, I mean, like, it's gonna make him tankier, which is nice, especially doesn't seem to be the fastest unit. So if he can resist those missile attacks, definitely welcome upgrade. And at job level 25, he'll get Blasting Zone 2, where you lower defense for targets within range for 3 turns, then deal medium damage. And that's pretty much all in terms of updates. So we also want to mention that there's some new challenges for you to explore. As you can see, I've already unlocked some of them. So here you'll just get 3 pages of stuff you can do, where you'll get Mind Spheres and shards for the 2 Final Fantasy XIV units. Okay, and with that, let us do our 10 pull to finish the video. There's nothing there. Okay, that was sad. That was completely sad. Wow, okay, I guess it's like a random 10 ticket. Well, that's that. Thank you very much for tuning in. A bit of a disappointing end, but keep strong, don't spend, and best of luck with building this week's units if you choose to do so. You guys have a good one, and take care. Bye for now.